Hi there and welcome back, friends of a thoughtful gaming experience. This is your host, Emmanuel Ken, and we're going to proceed with our Let's Play Pillars of Eternity, Path of the Damned difficulty, the Renegades of Punk, and our punky ruling of this place has just been put into question by some Earl Trashbin. We need to go to Defiance Bay. Yeah, we'll accept. And find out what we can do against this in first fires. And all the lords and earls and whatevers are messing around with things they don't understand. So let's stop them. Adair finishes escorting Supplicant and returns to the stronghold. Good thing, good thing. Nothing pending. No upgrades. We need to go to the Ducal Palace, which is here. Let's run in. What a majestic, giant building even. Ah, the columns. It's really good looking as well. We demand to see the Duke. What are they talking about? Animancers caused the legacy. They have a lot to answer for. Let's talk to the Duke. Or to Chancellor Warren or something like that. All these strange titles. This is the Hall of Records. Alright. Let's walk in here. There's the records keeper.
I'm here.
And I think we will just position for a fight.
Yes. Certainly.
I'm here.
Hey there.
Just in case.
What is it?
Hello there, Chancellor. Thank you for coming, Forge Dawn. I've been trying to track you down for some time. This is Marshal Forwin, Earl Bademar's military advisor. He will serve as a witness for this proceeding. He gestures at the man next to him. Well met, Road Warden. Your reputation precedes you, I admit. You've created a bit of a stir throughout the nobility with your reclamation of Cardnua. Most are still not sure what to think of you. What's this about? The legitimacy of your claim to Cardnua is in question. Earl Bademar has issued a ruling on the matter. Cardnua was abandoned for over a century, and I've claimed the land through strength of arms. My claim is legitimate. If there were no other claimant, you would be correct. Unfortunately, that is not the case. All will be made clear once Lord Gathbin arrives. Do you have any questions for me while we wait? What do you know of Gathbin? Well, I've met him once. It was ample time to determine the character of Lord Areldr Gathbin, or lack thereof. He is descended from an old Adirian line that predates the War of Defiance. His great-grandfather, Rennig Gathbin, was the Earl of Yenwood during the war. That is, until he was stripped of his lands and driven from the Durwood. Yenwood? The Durwood was a mere colony of Adir. It was divided into 9 earldoms. When the Adirians were defeated and ultimately driven out, 2 of the earldoms were absorbed and borders were adjusted. The Yenwood was one such earldom. The Grasp is now the largest of the 7 earldoms. After it consumed the pre-war earldom of Yenwood, it encompasses notable settlements such as New Weomar, Girin's Grasp, Gilded Vale, and of course Cardnua. I have other questions. Tell me about Bademar. He comes from an esteemed line of lords that rose to prominence after the War of Defiance some 150 years ago. Durwood consists of 7 earldoms. The Bademars govern the northern earldom known as the Grasp. To the current Badamar, he is as fine a man as I know. It is an honor to serve him. Tell me more about the Grasp. The Grasp is now the largest of the 7 earldoms, after it consumed the pre-war earldom of Yenwood. It encompasses notable settlements. Yeah. Do you know which way Earl Badamar has ruled? I'm sorry, my lord, I do not. The Earl's decree is sealed. What was that about Road Warden? The one who rules Cardnua on behalf of the Earl of Yenwood is traditionally known as the Road Warden. Your position might not be entirely official yet, but the title is an appropriate form of address. The Marshal nods and smiles. In fact, that blade you carry was forged by the very first Road Warden. Gestures at the sword at your side. I've heard that the Whispers of Yenwood is only ever found by those meant to rule Cardnua. And I've got more questions. Your timing is impeccable. Here comes Lord Gathbin now. All right, hi there, Lord Trashbin. Who are you? An opulently dressed man strides towards the Chancellor, his sandy hair trailing him like a banner caught in a light breeze, boot heels echoing throughout the hall. An elven woman with cropped hair dressed in dark, glinting mail shadows his steps before taking position alongside him. She watches you unabashedly, taking your measure. Gathbin, let's move past this formality as quickly as possible. I have no other matters to attend to. It's well known that Cardnua belongs to me by right. Where is this pretender, he who murdered the Redricks, my own sister and her husband, and now steals my land? Oh God, another one of this family. Where is this low-born wretch? Warren clears his throat and glances at you. This man here? This is the Lord of Cardnua? I thought he was just another servant. Perhaps a valet or a porter. Oh man. Everyone who owns their own keep raise a hand. Go on, don't be shy. Imbecile, I hope you've enjoyed your time squatting on my land. Provoke me further and I'll hang you from the highest wall of Cardnua when our business is finished. Chancellor, read the Earl's decree. Warren breaks the seal on the scroll and unfurls it. Regarding the matter of Gathbin claim on Cardnua, Earl Badamar finds that the Gathbin claim was never relinquished. By law, Cardnua is the rightful property of the Gathbin family. I knew it! Gathbin smirks at you triumphantly. I'm not yet finished reading, my lord. Gathbin rolls his eyes and motions for the Chancellor to continue. However, the Earl recognizes Kevava Forge Dawn's part in reclaiming Cardnua, a site that has stood abandoned and even, some would say, cursed for over a century. Before Cardnua is returned to the Gathbin family, the Earl has decreed that Lord Gathbin will provide compensation in the form of... Absolutely not! Gathbin folds his arms, a defiant scowl on his face. My lord? Warren raises his eyebrows. The amount is quite reasonable and the requirement for your land to be returned to you. If you'll just allow me to finish, I will not pay a single copper to this miscreant for my ancestral land. Do you think I'm blind to the Earl's motives, lackey? He thinks he can send a message with his insult? I have a message that you can send this son of a whore. Gathbin raises an open hand as the Chancellor shrinks from him, arms raised in defense. You will grab his arm. Maybe he'll attack and will eliminate the last Redrick, or of this Redrick family. Keep your hands off me, you peasant! Gathbin yanks his arm free of your hand and steps back. The elven woman deftly draws a pistol from her thick leather belt. Her eyes widen in anticipation. My lords, please, there's no need for violence. Lord Gathbin holds your gaze for several heartbeats, his eyes burning with hatred. I'll be coming for what's mine. Count on it. Come, Captain Emery. We're leaving, he sneers defiantly before storming down the hall. The captain lowers her pistol and gives a smirking shrug before following her employer. And now we know why we're building defense there. Well, I can't say that Gathbin's reaction was entirely unexpected. Through no fault of your own, I'm afraid you've made a powerful enemy. He did seem a little upset, didn't he? I've heard he's always been vicious even as a boy, and he can hold a grudge for a very long time. In any case, Cardnua now officially belongs to you, since Lord Gathbin has rejected the Earl's decree. He hands you a deep blue scepter which looks to have been carved entirely out of sapphire. Here, this belonged to one of the old lords of Karnua. By right, it's yours now. And we gained Gurd Havan's Steens. And of course, tell Gathbin if I catch him or any of his people on my land, they will be executed. An extreme measure to be sure, but I will pass the message along. It was a pleasure to meet you finally, my lord, Warren Bowes. Perhaps we'll speak again under more pleasant circumstances. Farewell, Kawava Forgedawn. Marshal nods at you and leaves. Let's talk to the records keeper while we're here. This man busies his slender hands. Should remain. This man busies his slender hands, filling scored books and rolls of dusty parchment according to some obscure yet deliberate scheme. What is this? A doughty burglar. What? No, we are not going to steal this. Interesting.
As you wish.
Well, what are we going to do now, though? Don't know. There are some of these noblemen. Don't know how noble they are. What more can we do here, though? Oh, we can go to the Shrine of Magran. Let's do that. What's that? Stone figure of a warrior gazes toward her raised hand. It's empty, but the palm and fingers are blackened. Fire mage, something. Let's talk to Furga.
Hail, traveler.
The woman's head is bowed as her lips move in prayer. Just as you approach, you catch her glimpsing at the statue near her. She notices you and forces a smile. Praise to be to Magran and welcome to her temple. How may I be of service? Well, temple? I thought this was a palace. It's both, really. It's the palace from which Duke Ivar governs, but it's also a place of honor and worship for Magran, the goddess who led us to independence and who has always watched over our city. A smile falters. You seem upset. What's wrong? Shoulders slump. This is about the fires, isn't it? He puts a hand on your shoulder. They're just symbols. Can't put your faith in them. Only symbols? Is that why you're so distressed? No, she sighs with a hiss like a release of steam. I've kept them burning steadily for 15 years, but I haven't been able to conjure them for months now. And people need to see them more than ever these days. What does that mean? It's my devotions and prayers that keep them lit. But lately, when I try to pray, all I can think about are the hollowborn all over the city. The grieving families, the refugees. She shakes her head. How could Magran allow us to suffer like this? What strength do we gain from a soulless child? And this has shaken your faith? She nods, running her hands through her hair. But I believe Magran may be speaking to me again. She frowns and casts a quick glance in your direction. This will likely sound so far-fetched to someone like you. Lately I've been seeing visions, a place in the wilderness with pools filled with sunbursts of color. Strange falls that seem to rise to the heavens even while they splash into the earth. She raises her hands as if framing an image of her vision, and behind the falls is a cave, filled with fire and heat and danger, some token of my goddess. I know there's something there, but where it is or how I'd get there, she shakes her head. I've been meaning to ask around the expedition hall to see if anyone recognizes the description. To be honest, though, I don't know what I'd do, even if I found the place. Something else? What's the significance of these sacred pyres? They symbolize Magran's power and guidance, and right now the people of Defiance Bay need to be assured of her presence. She crosses her arms, staring at the statue. Our neighbors in the Valian Republic see us as superstitious, but we're just sensitive to the signs and warnings of the gods. I'd like to know more about the temple. Magran is the most revered goddess among us Dewoodans, so it's no surprise that her temple is part of the Ducal Palace. The fires symbolize trials, revolutions, and the blazing of new paths, all of which are important to us. She gestures to the statue. This is the first of the sacred pyres. When this is lit, so are the rest around the city. Goodbye. I think we should help her. She seems so upset, and she is just a single woman. Trying to fix something, maybe.
Not a sound.
Let's look if there's something hidden here. No? Alright. More is there to see. I could go in here, maybe. While we're here. No. I think we cannot go in right now here. And can we just go in here? No. Oh, we can open that door and then at least perk into here. An armor rack. No. We don't need your strange weapons. Who is this? The young woman wears a simple but well-tailored uniform. She watches the comings and goings around her with quiet attention. Any news to share, or are you just here to see the Ducal Palace? What's the Ducal Palace? It's the seat of government here in Defiance Bay. This is where Duke Admath Hadred declared freedom from Adiran rule. Some 150 years ago, she lowers her voice and grins. It's also a hotbed of regional politics. Trust me, the gossip here beats what you'll find in any tavern or brothel in the city. Looking for news? Who are you? I'm a page here at the palace. I deliver messages and run errands for the Duke and his advisors. The pay's not great, but I can't think of a better introduction to politics. And that's interesting. Maybe we can find more about the Duke. What goes on in here? She laughs. Where to start? We've got meetings, public hearings and ceremonies, and that's just the stuff that happens out in the open. She leans a little closer. This is where the Duke and his key advisors work. So there's always someone bartering for a favor. Unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to talk about that side of things. Or why not? But if you want the official version, she clears her throat and gestures counterclockwise around the palace. We have a shrine devoted to Magran, official records, and chambers for public hearings and council meetings. Tell me about the shrine. It's a symbol of Magran's protection of Defiance Bay. She's represented the revolutionary spirit of the Durwood ever since independence, and her involvement in creating the Godhammer bomb only affirmed her importance to us. She scratches her neck. That's also where the first of the sacred fires burn. But Fergar, the tranquil ardent, has had trouble keeping them lit. What kind of records are stored here? Mostly dull official stuff. Census counts, tax records, militia registers. Now I keep my distance. I got curious one day, got drafted into reshelving half of the records. Worst day of my life. Is there a hearing going on right now? Sure is. Duke Eva has been meeting with some of the city leaders for weeks now, trying to figure out how to address the legacy. The whole business is terribly secret though. Tried to sit in the gallery during my lunch break one day and got turned away. She sniffs, but a lot of the talk concerns animancy, so there's good reason they're keeping the meetings behind closed doors. Why is animancy so controversial? She laughs. Where to begin? Traditionalists think it's a crime against the gods. There's no question that poking around in souls is risky, but the more progressive elements believe it's our only shot at restoring healthy births. And it doesn't help matters that animancy research often involves old and Angwithan relics that were illegally looted from ruins in her Glanfath. She makes a quick twitching motion with her index and middle fingers. So what do you think about animancy? Me, I think the real danger of animancy is confusing a real scholar with an expensive fake. We get a new case here every day. Some poor couple in the Gift or Copper Lane spent every copper they had on a miracle cure for their unborn child. It never works. She shakes her head. Breaks your heart, but there's usually nothing we can do for them. The legacy? Waidwen's legacy. That's what a lot of people call the rush of Hollowborn. The theory goes that it's punishment for meddling in animancy. What are Hollowborn? She raises an eyebrow. You're really fresh from the road. Hollowborn are children born without souls. They often don't live for very long, and those that do have generally received some kind of treatment from the animancers. I see. Anyway, the legacy is what the politicians have all been whispering about lately. I'd like to talk about something else. Of course. I've always got my ear to the ground. Tell me about the current Duke. That would be Ivar Wolfgren. Don't let the title fool you, though. Our dukes have been elected since independence. Some find Duke Ivar rather coarse. He's a frontier noble. Personally, I think a rough and tumble type is just what Defiance Bay needs. Thank you for all the info, and I think this is enough for now, so thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please come back and watch again. And see you in the next episode. Happy gaming to you. This is Immanuel Khan, signing out. Goodbye, guys.